All right, it is Ottman Azaitar who is back 2 years away from the cage at this point, and it's just around the corner to compete again. Ottman, give me the feel, man. I mean, you're finally back. I know this has been a long time coming. So what's the excitement like for you right now?
First of all, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I got the opportunity to fight. Alhamdulillah, it was long time off. Yeah, the circumstances and the injuries didn't allow me, and yes, it's been a while, and I've been recovering from this period. And now, since I passed this period, the first thing what I wanted to do is fighting. Yes, I'm very happy to be back.
I love it. Now, listen, Ottman, you know I have to ask you. You've got a very strange place in UFC history with everything that happened on Fight Island. What what can you say about that now? What can you tell us what that was all about? It's been one of the craziest stories we've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a really strange story, but to be honest, you know, I was not that much, or I was not included at all in this whole story, but it's okay. I don't blame anyone for this. It's nothing like to no one to blame for, but I was not really responsible for this, and yes, especially this this thing with the back. I mean, this was the most funniest and strangest thing, and especially like for me, like the people who are not like who were not in the UFC, who were not at the hotel, I can understand that they are questioning this like hey what's inside or what have what's this question with the back, but the people of the UFC I don't understand them, or especially the people who have been in this hotel, or whoever competed the UFC. Whenever we go to the fight week to any UFC hotel in the whole world, there is no one who touch your bag, open it. So there is no secrets about bags. Not in the beginning and not later. Even I mean, now is no COVID bubble anymore. Let's say, for example, now next week in the fight week in New York, I can take whatever I want in my bag. No one is going to check this. You understand? So in the beginning and during the week, I can go out and go shopping, put everything in the bag, and go back to the hotel. No one gonna say, "Hey, open what's inside." So that what I was surprised to see and to hear from, especially the UFC fighters who have been also there.
Yeah. You
And
know, for
this this caused that I was the second most tested UFC fighter the last year.
is
So
that right?
like I mean like also with Ada was like listening to this whole trash, and then okay, this guy had something in the back. I don't know what they expect me to have in this back. I was worried that they think there was something like dangerous, but they were like thinking, oh, there was some forbidden substances, and that's why I was tested like over, I think, approximately 27 times last year. Very
Wow.
weird.
Wow. I mean, it wasn't potatoes though, right? Come on, it wasn't potatoes.
Look, to be honest, no, with all the respect, like I told you from the beginning, and I've been honest, and I told you I'm not included in this whole case, in this whole matter, in this whole thing. And I didn't request any back, blah, blah, blah. But if there was a back for me, which I wanted to come to me and I asked for it, whoever asks me what was inside, myself, I'm not gonna answer this because I cannot like walk outside in the street and go ask anyone like on the street, hey, what's in your bag? Also, let's say, okay, this is maybe a strange example, but let's say I go in the UFC hotel and go to anyone, hey, what's in your bag? You know what I mean? This is why should I answer if there was any bag for me? But why should I answer this question? Maybe there are some personal things if it was for me. maybe there are some personal things or whatever, even if it's not personal. Just this question bothers me, you know. That's
Understood.
why I never gave a comment to this, and I will leave it like this. Whoever comment this from my part, from my side, I mean, no one is. I don't say that anyone lies, or everything have its. If it whoever said something, he said it for a reason. But from my mouth, nothing will come out.
Understood, understood. And I think what's important for people to remember, it wasn't the contents of the bag that mattered. It was just the safety protocol that became the issue. But I wonder, were you nervous that your career was over? That because for a month we thought you were out of the UFC. So were you worried that like, man, I reached the top of the mountain, I made it to the biggest organization, and now it's gone because of this?
That's one thing. To be honest, uh, yeah, it is like every UFC fighter who fought his whole life, his whole career to get into the UFC and had couple of fights and would have the same uh, how you say this? Let's say the same situation, he will be worried or sad about this. But I just gonna explain you the feelings which I had back then. In the beginning, I was just worried to don't be able to fight. That what worried me the most. I was called in my room, hey, don't leave the room. Why? Yeah, stay in the room, and I had to cut weight. And I'm used to cut weight in the sauna, but in my room there was no sauna. We couldn't go to the training room, so I started cutting the weight in the bath, in the hot tub, and I kept like this. I was still like, okay, I'm gonna fight. And then they came and blah blah blah, and I kept cutting weight because I knew myself that I didn't do anything wrong. I came there to fight. This is what was my purpose, and this is why I went there, and for that what I went there for. And this is the first worries which I had that I don't fight. When I saw okay, the fight got cancelled, and I was like sad about the cancellation of the fight. But after this, when I left Abu Dhabi on the way to Dubai, I got a call. No, I saw in the media that I was cut. And to be honest, I thought that I gonna be sad or worried, but I said Alhamdulillah, thanks God for everything. I took it very easy, especially because I couldn't blame myself. You understand? So if I would have done myself something like wrong, myself, I'm talking about my person, then I would like be able to blame myself for this, Then I would say, hey, shit, why did you do this? Look, you fought your whole life, blah, blah, blah. But I accepted this decision. And yes, and yeah, I think this is enough.
Yeah.
This about feelings, worries, how everything went. This is enough. I'm glad and I'm thankful also to the UFC to have given me the second chance. Thank you again to the whole UFC, Dana White, Hunter Campbell, Sean Shelby, Nick, everyone who, yeah, turned this decision and gave me a second chance.
Absolutely. And then I will ask you though, I mean, about so you get the second chance, and then it's a year and a half more before you can compete, right? I mean, you have to go through these injuries and battle through these issues. And I guess, I mean, has this been a difficult time for you that you're like, am I ever going to be able to compete again? Like, what is happening? This is my dream. I made it here. Why do things keep standing in my way of me getting in that cage?
Alhamdulillah, the whole life is a fight, and it's not just the fight doesn't start just in the cage. It starts, for example, for a fight, the fight starts in the beginning of the preparation, but it even starts before. The whole career is a fight, and during your career you have also a private life which is also a fight, and everybody goes through this, and we have sometimes to accept that the things are not going the way we wish, but for sure it is better than we wish. I believe very deep in this that God write us the best what's for us. So, for example, when this fight got cancelled, I noticed after this, like a couple of weeks later, that I was a little bit injured. So it maybe was better to didn't have this fight. You don't know what could have happened. Maybe another injury with long term, which would have made me not able to fight anymore. But you see, Alhamdulillah, it took a little bit time to recover, to go through this injury and to pass it. And now, Alhamdulillah, you see, we keep fighting and we get there back where we have been, or
I
maybe
love it.
even better.
Maybe even better, right? Hey, Madison Square Garden. How about that? Not a bad place to come back to, huh? I mean, the
Yeah,
most
nice.
famous arena on earth. How exciting is that?
Very exciting. I love New York. This is the first thing. And like my most favorite city in America is New York. I love this city very much. I remember the first time I've been there. Every time when I come to America, I have to go first to New York. I become now like even a tourist guide in New York. Every time I have a tradition, when I go to New York, I take these city bikes, and then I drive through the whole blocks. Like I know whole New York, Manhattan. I'm talking about Manhattan. I went also to the other parts of New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, all this Staten Island. But Manhattan, I'm specialist, and all these guys who are in the fight week there, if they need a tourist guide, just come to me.
That's awesome, man. We'll get
But with
recommendations. So
only with bike, with the
only
bike.
with my
So we can in the night. I can show all the people like give me. I think 1.5 hour because for every block you need approximately with the bike. I counted this like between 10 and 15 seconds, depend how fast you drive. I need like 1.5 hour. I show them whole Manhattan.
you're doing the
And
math and everything. You got the journey laid out. You know exactly which directions you're gonna go.
yes, brother, yes, yes. Really, to be honest, yes. Where everything, like where, and Madison Square Garden was also one of the first. For me, it's a big sightseeing, which I went to when I was the first time in New York. I remember because this is like a historical place, historical fight arena. For me, especially just to fight in the same spot where Muhammad Ali fought is, for me in sport, combat sport, one of the biggest legends, one of the biggest role models. I had also, this was always my dream to meet him. And Alhamdulillah, I got also the opportunity 2014 to have met him. And after this, to go to New York and to fight in the same place where he fought, that's a big, big honor and big pleasure for me.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. All right, you're facing Matt Frevola, a guy that you obviously had prepared for before. So, was this a matchup that you were happy to put back together? And what do you think about him as an opponent?
Uh, I don't really think too much about opponents, to be honest. I have every athlete have to build up his career. Your career depends about your goals. If you just have like the goal to fight, then you can fight every time, anywhere, everyone, everyone. But I leave these matters to my management, to my coaches. So they know in which shape I am. They know how my circumstances are. They know they don't choose like I mean in UFC there are no easy fights, but to another aspect, it is also an unfinished business. It's not just about the management and the coach and about my personal feeling. It's about also the people who have supported us back then in Abu Dhabi for this fight. Maybe they were disappointed. My people, my supporters, his people, his supporters, who wanted to see this fight. I mean, the fight was scheduled 3 months before we went to Abu Dhabi, so the people were following this, waiting for this, and then cancel last day. So this is also a thing what we have to think about. This, without this whole all supporters, all these people, the sport wouldn't have been so big as it is now. So we have also to, and the people were also asking for this. So we have also to fulfill the wishes of the people, but in the same time, we are all professionals. Everyone have his role, and like I said, this kind of things belongs to the management and to the coaches, and I accept and hear listen to them, and also the matchmaker. The matchmaker give you this appointment. You want to fight on this date? Yes, I want. Oh, this is your opponent. It's not like, oh no, I don't want. I want another opponent. You know what I mean? So it is how it is, and alhamdulillah, yes.
I love it. Well, listen, still undefeated. It's been 2 years, but you're still undefeated. You had some
Alhamdulillah.
momentum, man. You came into the UFC. You had a couple of really good performances, and I think people were really excited about, man, where can this guy go? So, does this feel like an opportunity to kind of, regain where you were and get back to that feeling and that momentum, or does it feel like you're starting over and kind of like reintroducing yourself to people? I mean, what do you see this fight as meaning for you?
I mean, for me, it's the most important. It's. I'm happy to be back. So to have the opportunity to fight. I don't know. I think I never had that long break. So we're gonna find out. But I mean, you can take the fighter out from the cage, but you cannot take the cage from the fighter, out from the fighter. The fighter gonna stay a fighter. So this is something we simply have inside us. I'm talking about all the fighters, and of course the shape is is a different one, and also the experience and also the feeling. Someone who just have been like a couple months ago in the cage have like a small advantage, is maybe more used to this feeling, but it depends about every person how he deals with this. Are you going there to getting sheared? Are you giving? Does it influence you so much that people are watching you fighting, or do you take it like a training session, like a sparring session? Everyone is different, and we will see how I feel. I cannot predict anything. Understand? So for me, it's a new thing, and I love new things to experience. Like I said, the whole life is a fight. The whole life is an adventure. It would be boring if it would be always the same. It's the
Absolutely.
same like you would fight always the same opponent
Yeah.
next week,
Not a
same
lot of
opponent.
fun.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, I know you're a busy man, so I won't take any more of your time, but I appreciate it. Two
thank you
long
very
years
much.
away, and you're back. UFC 281, Madison Square Garden, November the 12th. And best of luck. We'll certainly be watching. It's a great card, and I wish you all the best in
Alhamdulillah.
that matchup.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the people watching this video, this interview. Thank you guys for always believing in me and supporting me. And yes, still keeping pushing me. And even also the people whoever, whatever, positive or negative, it's just, they keep you vivid. You still feel, okay, I'm there. And inshallah, we will see what happens on next Saturday. Yes.